Hi, and welcome to Happening Today. The full trailer for the final season of Game of Thrones has been released. The series looks to be ending in an ice-filled battlefield, while Cersei coolly sips her wine as Westeros freezes. Game of Thrones episodes are always good at subverting expectations. But wrapping up this long, complex story with a satisfying and surprising twist will be quite the challenge. George R.R. Martin will surely be taking notes. Half the fun is predicting the plot points of this series, just so one can be proved terribly wrong, as your favorite character meets his, or her, gory death.
Renly's death was no fault of yours.
To prepare you for the upcoming episodes, we gathered the 8 predictions that we think are most likely to happen. Attention! There might be spoilers coming up. Of course, these are just speculations, but we found them most likely for a reason. Prediction number 1, Jaime will die a martyr. For those who don't know what a martyr is, Wikipedia describes a martyr as a person who is killed because of their religious or other beliefs.
I'm Jaime Lannister of Casterly Rock, son of Tywin.
Yeah, you might not think of Jaime as a martyr, but hear us out. Jaime's story arc has been one of the strongest in the series, with the character starting his story as a violent, incestuous sociopath, before blossoming into a noble knight. As Jaime seeks to fill his embarrassingly blank page in the White Book, with a heroic act or two, I have a strong suspicion that the man has become too good to survive. What better way to leave an indelible mark on history, other than to die a martyr?
If it comes to that, they will have died for a good reason.
And on number 2, Cersei will drive humanity to extinction. But not quite. I can't help but imagine that Cersei's stubbornness will have disastrous consequences for the inhabitants of Westeros. The White Walkers and the Long Night acts as a direct parallel to our modern-day problems like climate change. And Cersei's willingness to ignore and ridicule the problem is, unfortunately, far too accurate a reflection of our current leadership. The Night King is too empty of a villain to end this story on. It's Cersei who will prove to be the real supervillain of this season, by turning her back on humanity.
Sooner or later, Cersei always gets what she wants.
Jon Snow will not escape death. Although it appears that Daenerys and Jon are all set to ride their dragons together, and eventually get married and have unhealthy, inbred babies, as per Targaryen tradition, surely their story can't end so smoothly.
For the watch.
Snow already escaped death once, in a plot twist that surprised even Melisandre. Why exactly did the Lord of Light, if it was even him, choose to resurrect the man? It seems that Jon's life has a purpose, but that doesn't mean he gets to settle down, for happily ever after. Jon Snow might end up being the key to defeating the White Walkers. But he owes a debt to the many-faced god, and that guy doesn't forgive, or forget. Daenerys will survive everything. No matter what happens, I simply cannot imagine Daenerys dying. If the series was to single out one central protagonist, it would definitely be her. She is integral to the plot, the one responsible for the return of dragons, and ironically, the melting of the wall. In retrospect, this entire situation is here because of her.
East, a Targaryen girl has 3 dragons.
At numero 5, Tormund and Brienne will be granted a happy ending. After the trailer revealed Tormund is alive and well, it seems very likely that his adorable romance with Brienne might just come to blossom. Why? Simply because the romance has been brewing for so long. There has to be a payoff, right? These two characters are just inconsequential enough to survive, and provide the sweetness to the very likely bittersweet ending that the showrunners have planned for us.
Brienne the Beauty, they called me. Great joke.
We have arrived at number 6 of the list, and we have yet to talk about the Starks. So here on number 6, Arya will provide a face-swap plot twist. I'm almost certain that at some point during Season 8, somebody will do something so insanely murderous and out of character, only to pull their own face off, and reveal that it's Arya.
A girl is Arya Stark of Winterfell.
Perhaps she will take a blade for a family member, or bake another flesh pie. But whatever it is, it's going to be a red herring. Because what else is she going to do with her oddly specific superpower? 7. Sansa will betray the family. Somehow she will. Sansa's transformation into an ice-cold cynic might not have boded well for Littlefinger, but that doesn't mean the character doesn't still have the potential for a good betrayal. The Stark family, what's left of them anyway, is sure to receive one last loyalty test in the final season, and I have a suspicion that Sansa will fail. She's seen the very worst side of Westeros, to the point where she might have absorbed some malice from all the terrible people in her life.
And Sansa Stark is now Sansa Lannister.
So here we are, number 8. You have officially made it through the whole list without clicking away. We want to reward you with staying with us, so we saved the best for last. Number 8. Bran won't do anything. Bran of course already knows what's going to happen. He's lost his humanity during his transition into the Three-Eyed Raven, and has grown distant from the real world, viewing it as dispassionately as one views fiction. Sure, he was nice enough to let his sisters know about Littlefinger's nefarious plans, but for this season, I think he's just going to sit it out, and let fate do its thing. These were my top 8 predictions, that I feel like are most likely to happen. Of course you don't have to agree, so I would love to hear what your top 8 is. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe to Happening Today, for more Game of Thrones videos.